That brings us to number 11 on our superintendent's report, or number 11, which is our superintendent's report. Dr. Ross.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board and our community. Happy New Year. We are excited about this new year, excited about new things in 2024. Would also like to take this opportunity to thank our communications team, our technology team, I guess the whole from operations and academics to HR, everybody in finance put together student services, our brand new website. Special shout out to Barrett Isbell and all of his hard work and many hours. We ask that you go and check out our website, the opening shot by our own Barrett. Very great pictures there that just not only highlights our district, but highlights our community, and that's what I really am excited about the website. As always, we are driven as a system guided by three critical questions. Why do we do this work? How do we accomplish that, our mission, and what are our outcomes? Our vision is that we love and grow our students. Our mission is that we're focused on academic, social, emotional growth and development. And then our strategic plan outcomes. It is exciting that this is starting to take note. We are actually have researchers from the University of Maryland College Park who are interested in how we come up with our strategic plan and our outcomes and our objectives under our vision. And so we work tirelessly on school climate, teacher administrative quality, student achievement, and gifted and talented strategies. We have said that this year is the growing season, and indeed we are growing. If you look at fall projections of MAP last year versus this year, you can see the growth that our teachers are doing with our students. And the January 22nd meeting, we'll talk about the winter scores, and news is out. I'll go ahead and tell you that that growth continues. So we celebrate the work of our teachers, students, stakeholders, and families. On the high school level, we look at the number of students that are going to enter high school and receive a diploma within 4 years. Our target has been 90.5%. We measure this every week, and currently we're at 85.5% of that cohort on track to graduate on time. We work purposely with our schools to make sure that there's names behind those numbers and stories behind those names so that we can meet those challenges to make sure that every child has an opportunity to graduate on time and meet their potential. We are excited about last year's results. We saw increases in every area and in graduation rate maintaining. And so we looked as we see exciting progress in our graduation rate to continue that growth. But it's indeed the growing season in Lexington-Richland School District 5, and we're excited about that work. At this time, I'm going to ask our CFO, Ms. Madison Wilkerson, to come to the podium and present our monthly financial update for October. Ms. Wilkerson.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Ross. Thank you for the time to present the monthly financial report for the month ending October 31st, 2023. I'll start with the revenue summary. So as you can see on the screen, our total revenue through October is $46.8 million, or 20.17% of our total budget. This is on target compared to the same time frame in the prior year. Looking at our local sources, our local revenue is strong through October due to vehicle property taxes and interest earned. As y'all know, the significant portion of our local revenue comes in the months of January and February due to real estate property taxes. Moving on to the state sources, our state aid to classrooms is slightly below budget based on being 33% of the way through the fiscal year, but still on target. Tier 1 of our homestead exemption will be received, or was received in November, about 90%. Tier 2 comes in the spring, and then Tier 3, the first payment did start in October, so you'll see that on your report, and will continue through the end of the fiscal year. EIA funding under other financing sources is actually slightly higher than we budgeted, but this will be adjusted again in January for the 45-day adjustment at the ADM. So overall, in total for revenues, definitely on track with where we were and in comparison to budget. On the expenditure summary, again, through October 31st, our total expenditures were roughly $56.5 million, which is about 24.33% of the budget, which is again in line with the same time frame looking at last year. As y'all will notice, it's about $9.6 million over our revenues year to date, which again is typical for this time of year just due to the real estate property tax revenue and when that does come due. Additionally, our expenditures are in line with the same time frame and approximately 24% of the total budget, with about 33% of the year surpassed. I'll be glad to take any questions.
Any questions? Ms. Huddle?
I got I think we all got the email where we were increasing the fees for the electronic payments for student meals. That's a pass-through, or do we bump that up, or how does that work?
No, unfortunately, that's on the vendor side, so we actually don't see any of that. That's completely vendor-based. That's through our Titan. That's our third-party vendor system. So we actually don't see any of that from that standpoint.
Okay, and is that all student fees, or is it just meals?
Just meals, because that's a separate vendor. So we use RICOR for all of our course fees, and that is actually an expense of the district. So that's something that we do see on our books. But the meal system is a separate vendor, and that's completely passed through.
And they do have the option to pay cash?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And Kathy, I have asked for Dr. Ross to put on the next board agenda a discussion item relating to the food service costs and increases, and an explanation so we could ask specific questions for that. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wilkerson.
Thank you, Ms. Wilkerson. And last but not least, as we are released our 2022-2023 annual report, is available, will be made available to you online. You also will get a copy. We'll send this out through our channels and make sure that we have these available in schools. At the request of the vice chair, I will now read this word for word. I'm lying, I'm joking. I'm joking. But this is an opportunity to be made available for you. A lot of hard work went into this, and so we want you to see all the great things that are going on in our school district, to see the amazing work that our teachers, our staff, and our students are doing. So it just gives you a great update of the things that are going on from last year, but I submit our annual report. Madam Chair, members of the board, that concludes the superintendent's report, and I stand for any questions.
Do we have any questions? Seeing none, we will move on. Thank you, Dr. Ross.